What up? I'm B and welcome to my channel. I hope you are having a great Friday today and you are ready to get into some of this YouTube drama that's going on. I don't have a ton of stuff to go over. Typically when we do live streams like this, it's something like really big, really massive that we get a lot of like different opinions on and have like a little bit of a deeper discussion about, but there's nothing really that I want to talk about like too deeply in this stream. There are just a few other topics that I want to go over. So I'll give people a little bit of time to get in here and then we will go ahead and get started. So if you're in here already, say hi, say what's up. I am so glad that you are in here and I'm glad that you're able to make it on a Friday. I know for the past few weeks I've been doing Thursdays at 3:30 Mountain Time, but yesterday I had a little bit of busyness to handle, so I decided to go live today. So we'll give it another minute or so and then we will get in here. I'm seeing people come in, so that's good. Like I said, say hi if you're in here, say what's up. And we're gonna get started pretty soon. All right. Okay, here we go. Hi Brianna, hi Morgan, hi Courtney, hi Nick E, hi Becca. All right, hey, there we go. Jordan said blue is definitely your color B. Thank you. Hi UA, hi Bad Wishes. Jordan, that email you sent me with that picture with like the thumbnail, I was like, oh my gosh, that's funny. Taylor said, this is the first time I've actually caught it. Hi, I love your content. Oh, thank you so much. Courtney said, here with my guinea pig. Guinea pigs are so cute. I wish that, I love guinea pigs, like they're so sweet, but I wish I didn't pee on you so easily. Otherwise, I would totally want to get one. Hi, babe. All right, cool. So people are getting in here. Like I said, we'll give it another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and get started. There's something that I saw, literally, like I posted that I was going to go live, and then I saw something on Twitter, and I was like, oh my gosh. Toward my shirt, I said I thought it was hilarious. It was so funny. That's like the funniest thing sometimes when you're like, when you create like pre-recorded content and you're editing it, sometimes you'll pause on like the most ridiculous faces. All right, Sinead's in here. Hi. Isolofi said, hey, I love your channel. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're in here. All right. Onajiri said, hi, I'm sorry for being gone for a while. Oh, I'm so glad that you are back. I was at the hospital for a while. I'm so sorry that you were in the hospital, but I hope that you're doing okay. Oh, Tyler, thank you so much for the donation. Going to bed soon, going to watch when I wake up. Well, I hope that you have a good time sleeping, and then you enjoy the replay of it. I will definitely leave this up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to talk about, oh, Toodles McPhee is in here. Hi, guys. Hi, Jade. Hi, Bad Wishes. I like the noises guinea pigs make. So cute. They are. Okay, so like the biggest thing that people are going to be talking about is the announcement from Morphe. This was tweeted out at 12:19, so literally like an hour ago, and they said, today we've made the decision to cease all commercial activity related to Jeffree Star and affiliated products. We expect this to continue or to conclude within the coming weeks. As we look to the future, we will continue to share updates on what lies ahead for the Morphe brand. So, a few weeks ago, well, like a week or two ago, they started slowly taking away stuff from the Conspiracy collection from their website. Like, you could see it, but when you put it in your bag, if you went to check out, it would say that you couldn't take it, because I know some people were saying it was removed, and some people were saying, well, no, like if you find it, you can put it in your bag. And so I went and I tested it out, and it wouldn't let you buy it. So they had removed that, and then everyone was asking, like, okay, well, what are you going to do about Jeffree Star? Because he plays a very big part in this. We know that Shane's kind of the one getting the majority of the attention with this, but Jeffree's also a really big part. So what are you going to do? And I am so surprised that they actually did it. Like, this is a legitimate, this is from the Morphe Twitter. Like, it's a legitimate thing that they are doing, which is just wild to me. Onajiri said, I'm doing okay now. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Champagne Slurpee said, heyo, OMG the tea. Chantel said, finally. Madeline said, wow. Tuesday said, jinkies. Yeah. Tyler said, I wonder if they're going to discount his Morphe Jeffree Star products. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, though. It'll be interesting to see if they do kind of like a phase out or if they just cut it completely. In the past, a lot of people, when they like break ties, they'll just get rid of it. I remember specifically because when Laura Lee had her scandal with the first Dramageddon, when Laura Lee had that first scandal, I had recently bought a pair of her sunglasses, like the collaboration that she did with Diff Eyewear. They're like my favorite sunglasses. I still wear them. Like, they're the only pair of sunglasses I have, other than like a cheap $5 pair from like Walmart. Those are the only sunglasses I wear. And so when Dramageddon 1 happened, as bad as it sounds, I was like, oh, maybe they'll put her on like clearance and then I can get those extra sunglasses for a cheaper price. But they just took everything out. So I don't know what they're going to end up doing. Courtney said, I'm worried they are doing this as a last of Jeffree Star stock sale and bring him back. But if they do seriously drop him, that could bring Jeffree out of the shadows now that his wallet took a hit. Oh, you think that maybe they'll like say like, we're going to stop selling them. We're going to stop selling this. Like, we're putting it on sale. We're getting rid of the stock. And then eventually he's going to come back. That would be so shady, but honestly, that would not surprise me. But yeah, so they tweeted that out, and most people are like happy about it. Someone said thank you. Someone said literally the best news I've heard all day. Hannah said, this is a business move. It shows even though you may lose followers / money, you are showing everyone you believe in the right, regardless of who it is. I mean, I hope that they're doing it because it's right, not because it's hurting their brand, but I also kind of think it's hurting their brand, and that's why they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Hi, Potato McGee. Becca said, I'm sure companies do that because they don't want to give any more profits to collaborators, but I could be wrong. Oh, yeah. I don't know, like, all the business sense of it, but it could be they're just like, we don't want to pay you anything else. Birds of a Feather said, when Morphe's tired of your antics, you know it's bad. I really, truly, like, Morphe's done so much shady stuff. I don't think they have, like, a moral objection to anything that Jeffree's done. I think they're just getting a lot of backlash for it. Jordan said, did we ever find any information about Jeffree having stock in Morphe? I can't say for sure. There are some video clips of him saying that like he has invested in it and that he like has stock in it, but I don't know if he was lying or what, you know, like he's lied about so many different things that it's like unless we see paperwork we won't know. Chantel said he's definitely going full scorched earth. It'll be so interesting. I wonder if he's said anything. Someone said gasps and clutches pearls. Someone said about time. Someone says, so there's no point in buying Morphe's cheap shit anymore. The only reason people go in Morphe stores is for Jeffree Star cosmetics. Someone said, thank you. Someone said, OMG, is this for real? Someone said, I'm unfollowing. Super interesting. I want to see if Jeffree said anything on his Twitter. And he has not. He's not tweeted or retweeted anything since the 25th. Wow. Wow. Yeah, he has to say something because he, on like Wednesday, I think, he announced that he was launching lip liners. Like there was another launch coming to Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And it's like, bro, like, you gotta say something. You can't just completely ignore this and expect it to go away this time. In the past, yeah, like he could ignore everything and then just, you know, pretend that he's not bothered when he clearly is when he makes his like Snapchat stories and Instagram stories, but he's always been able to kind of get away from it. At this point, this is a big thing. This is like, it's just bigger than anything else we've seen. Tyler said I like Morphe products. I don't have... Oh, I have the Jaclyn Hill, the original palette from Morphe, but that's the only thing I have from them. Potato McGee said, I wonder how this affects the credibility of the rest of Tati's statements, because didn't she say something about Jeffree owning part of Morphe? I think, if I remember correctly, she said, it is my opinion a lot near the end, and so I don't know if she said it is my opinion that he owns stock in Morphe, and it's not a coincidence that they're coming out with a hair, skin, and nail vitamin. So I don't know if he said it was or I don't remember if she said it was her opinion or if she said that, like, it was a fact, because that could definitely have an impact on how believable it is. I think a lot of people believe Tati because she said, like, this has been approved by my lawyers, and so this is what I'm legally permitted, like, I've been advised that this is okay for me to say. And so for me, I'm like, okay, you know, if your lawyers say that you can say that, it's probably true. But I don't know. Birds of a Feather said, is there a chance he can't speak because of the legal action Tati took, or is it most likely if I ignore it long enough, it'll disappear? I mean, I think it could be either or it could be a little bit of both. There's probably stuff that he doesn't want to say publicly, just because if they do go to court, if you, like, release it onto the internet, if you share this certain information publicly, then you can't really use it in a court of law in some cases. So certain things I'm sure he's not saying publicly, but I just, you know, he's allowed to talk. He's allowed to speak about himself. He's allowed to post on Twitter and Instagram. I feel like, in my opinion, he's choosing to ignore this stuff. So I do not know. But that was so shocking to me. And I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for anything that he says about it, anything that anybody else says. It's interesting that we haven't really seen Shane say anything about getting dropped from Morphe. I'm sure maybe he's been advised to stay quiet. Maybe there's, like, a legal thing. I don't know. They probably have certain agreements, like contractual agreements, that have to be fulfilled. And so I don't know. I would be interested to see what legal action is happening, like, behind the scenes, if they're, like, suing Morphe for dropping them or what. But it's just so interesting. Also, everyone's talking about how Jeffree's just hanging out with, oh my gosh, what's her name? Why can I literally not, Black China. I was like, why can I literally not remember her name now? But, like, hanging out with Black China and Cole Kerrigan, I'm like, this dude has no shame. He has no shame and he has no loyalty, because this is shady. This is not cool. South of Grace said, I can't afford makeup beyond Wet n Wild. Honestly, I really want Urban Decay, but it's hard for me to justify $20 to $60 for makeup product, LOL. Yeah, I'm like that sometimes too. I'm like, it has to be something that I really want or that I'm really gonna use. Tyler Bell said, Shane's still mad, probs. Probably. I can't imagine what he's feeling right now, literally knowing that he spoke out saying Jeffree's like my family when everybody was, like, criticizing them, and Jeffree's just not said anything. Thomas said they dropped him while I'm shooketh. I think a lot of us wanted this, and so we were, like, hoping that it would happen, but it really is kind of wild to see it actually happen. South of Grace said, the tea is spilling and I'm enjoying every sip despite not being super into drama or makeup YouTube. The thing is, like, I'm into, like, makeup YouTuber drama, but I'm not into makeup. Like, I don't really wear it that often, but it's just interesting. It's such a fascinating world, I think, and, like, it's something that seems so far removed from everyday life that it's just a fascinating thing to look into. Onajiri said, the way Jeffree hasn't stood by Shane when Shane always stood by him. Right. And Chantel said, could this truly be the end of Jeffree's star? Honestly, I don't know. I think Man, like, I don't know what'll happen. There are still tons of people that support Jeffree, and I think that that's gonna be the case for a long time, but I know that people are going after, like, other celebrities who are associated with Killer Merch, telling them, like, pull out, we won't support you if you're still under Killer Merch, and so this could definitely have a big impact, but in terms of him, like, actually being canceled, I don't know that that'll happen. Plus, if everything were to get, like, cut off, from what Jeffree has shown us, he's, like, very, very wealthy, and so he wouldn't necessarily need to work. Like, he could just be on YouTube, do whatever he wants, hang out. Like, it would suck to have all of this get taken away, but I don't know that it would really truly be, like, devastating for his life. I don't know that he would disappear from the internet, you know? Tanera Bear said, I don't understand how Shane didn't see this coming. Jeffree has always been problematic. It's no secret. I think he just, I don't know. I really don't know what his motivation was in getting close to Jeffree. If it was to have, like, a profitable series to try and turn him around so that way they could have this collaboration together to benefit both of them. I think Shane knew that Jeffree was problematic, and he knew his history. He knew who he was getting into business with, and he probably just didn't care because they're kind of similar in some ways. Not always, but in some ways. Taylor G, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Just do you think Tati is saying she has lawyers because she knows it makes her sound more credible? That's a good question. I think that's a possibility, but I also don't necessarily think that that's what's happening here. And something we are going to talk about in a little bit is the fact that Tati does have a team of lawyers. Like, she has had lawyers send cease and desist to certain influencers for the content that they've posted about her. And so typically if you have, like, a team of lawyers who does that for you, they're on retainer. And so you can say, hey, I want to put out this statement, or, you know, I want to say this. Is this okay? Is this going to get me into trouble? Plus, she alluded to the fact that she wanted to take legal action against Jeffree and Shane. And so if she was going to do that, she's smart enough to know, if I want to take legal action, I better make sure whatever I say is not going to hurt me when we go to court. So I think it's possible, but I don't think that it's likely that she's lying about the lawyers approving everything. Jacob said, Jeffree Star can probably afford to just piece out of being a public influencer. Right. That's what I think too. Like, I don't think we've ever seen anybody really, like, somebody like this. I don't think they've ever really been, like, canceled. And I don't even know what like the end goal of cancellation is. Like, I don't know what the ending of that looks like. And so maybe he'll lose business ties. Maybe he'll, I don't know. He was producing makeup before he was really big on YouTube anyway. So I think he probably has a pretty dedicated, like, group of people who are actually his customers from that. And so I just don't know, like, what the end was gonna look like, or what it's going to look like, you know? Bink Stink said, if this was an AITA post on Reddit, I can imagine the overwhelming result would be that everyone sucks in this situation. Trisha, Shane, Jeffree, Tati, the whole lot. Exactly. My Thai baby said, to be frank, there's not much he could say to defend him. That's true. There's no defense. I think there's just only support. Like, you can't really defend any, like, Jeffree or Shane. You can't defend either of their actions, but it still is kind of like, wow, so you're just not gonna, like, be nice to your friend? You're not gonna publicly support your friend? Courtney said, Jeffree Star could so easily drop off YouTube, but he loves the attention and drama too much. Yeah. I think he likes being in it. I think he kind of, like, thrives on it. He loves the attention. He loves the drama. He loves the power that he has within the YouTube community. I think it would take a lot for him to actually just up and leave. So that was something that I thought was interesting. I literally was like, we have to talk about it, because I just saw it after I said I was going to go live. So we'll see what comes from that and where everything goes from here. And then the next thing I want to talk about, which I guess is technically related to Jeffree and Shane, is this whole Sanders-Kennedy thing. This is real weird. I don't know what the motive would be of lying about something. And if you don't know, if you didn't, like, if you're not keeping up with everything, Sanders-Kennedy posted a video saying that he had exclusive information from the LA County Sheriff's Department talking about how there was an investigation into Shane Dawson, and that you could join his channel membership to get exclusive information from the LASD that would not be released to the public. And everyone was like shocked and like, whoa, like, how is this happening? There's an investigation. What's going on? What are they investigating? Was there a crime committed? All this. And the more people looked into it, the more it came out that this was not the case. He has admitted that he sent information into the LASD office. And so what I'm thinking is probably going on is he's submitted this information. He like submitted old videos of Shane's, different like screenshots of stuff. Like, he wants Shane in jail, I guess. And I don't know if Shane has committed any crimes. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I don't know. But he's like really going hard on this. And basically what the sheriff's department has said is that we don't have any victims, or we don't have anybody making a formal complaint. So like Sanders has sent information in, which is a true statement, but I don't think that they've opened an investigation into him. I think they've received complaints and they've received requests, but there are certain like thresholds that you have to meet in order to actually open an investigation, and I don't know that they're at that point yet. Also, I don't think that a sheriff's department would give exclusive information to a YouTuber to put on their membership that nobody else could get publicly, because what would the point of that be? Like, LA Police Department is known for being kind of reckless and not the greatest at their jobs, but at the same time, like, I don't think that they're that incompetent, if that makes sense. Oh no, Jerry, I see yours in all caps. He put it behind a membership paywall. Yes. He literally said, if you want to join my membership for $2.99 per month, you will get exclusive access to exclusive information that isn't going to be released publicly. He literally put it behind a paywall. Thomas said Sanders-Kennedy wanted clout, but it backfired. It literally did. Taylor, oh my gosh, thank you again so much for the donation. He said, have you done any looking into the Pizzagate stuff, and do you think it has anything to do with this Jeff and Shane stuff? YouTube is like a mini Hollywood. I have not really looked into Pizzagate. I've heard a lot of people talking about it lately, though, so I've been interested in it. But I do think that YouTube is more like Hollywood than a lot of people recognize. I think we all kind of have this idea that YouTube is so personal, and it's just like watching your friends and hanging out with your friends without realizing like the massive deals and backfiring and backstabbing and like double crossing that happens. Like, there are so many shady things in Hollywood that I think are exactly the same in YouTube. And that's what happens when you combine fame and money and people who will do anything to get there. So I don't know about any sort of connections, but I think that that's an interesting thought. Potato McGee said, I get submitting information to get an investigation started on Shane, but saying there's an actual ongoing investigation is too far. Exactly. Like, nobody would really care, I don't think, if he had just said, I submitted this information, I gave it to the police. I don't know if Shane's on their radar, and I felt gross holding on to it and not telling them, so I gave it away. Like, I think that would make sense, but him saying that they've opened an investigation and they're looking for victims to come forward is too far. And, like, Shane even confirmed, like, he said, like, my lawyer said that he hasn't heard anything, so I don't think this is happening. Like, as much as Shane pretends to be, like, a nobody and, oh, I'm just, like, a 32-year-old guy, like, as much as he has this little persona of, like, not being anybody important, Shane's rich. He has a ton of media exposure. Like, he is somebody who is somebody, you know? And so, as somebody who is somebody, he would get certain courtesies when it comes to dealing with the police, and they would have told him. They would have contacted his lawyer. They would have wanted him to come in. They would have arranged something if they wanted to interview him. Like, he would know if he was being investigated, and he said no. Bad Wishes said, what is the benefit though? Money? That's the temporary. Reputation matters in this business. Yeah. I really don't know. Although this is just my opinion, I've never seen Sanders Kennedy as somebody that I really thought was reputable. Like, I've never thought about his videos as somebody who was, like, credible that I would really go to, like, get the news. I've always just kind of seen him, I don't know, like, I watched a few of his videos, like, a few years back, and all of them were just, like, inserting people's 10-minute Snapchats and saying, like, giving the context for it and then posting the Snapchat, and then 10 minutes later, that's it. And he, like, didn't add anything to it. And so for me, I'm like, he's just regurgitating information. I don't really see any independent value in that, if that makes sense. So I've never really had, like, I've never thought he had really a good reputation, but this seems to be something that a lot of people are really, really getting mad about. Potato McGee said, based on what has come out about Jeffree, I have no doubt that there is some semblance of Hollywood drama, especially in the beauty community. Absolutely. South of Grace said, the first time I ever heard of Shane Dawson was his infamous, I did not blank on my cat tweets. Oh, what a tangled web that wove. Dude. Oh my gosh. That time in YouTube, like, I remember when that happened, and I was like, guys, of course he didn't. Of course it was a joke. Like, are you kidding me? And now I'm like, was it though? Was it a joke? I don't know. But in any case, Sanders has, like, faced a ton of backlash for this. He has lost, like, 2,000 subscribers so far. He put his, like, before he put his subscriber count on private. It is on private now, so I'm assuming that he lost quite a few more subscribers than just 2,000, because that doesn't seem like a massive impact to me. But like I said, like, it's private now, so I'm assuming it was a lot more. And something that I really thought was interesting was, before any of this happened, Nick Snyder, like, from The Viewer's Voice, tweeted out something about, like, do you ever wonder why somebody's making so many videos about this? Is it because they care about the truth, or is it because they proposed a collaboration and, like, were laughed at directly to their face? And if I'm remembering correctly, he said he was talking about Sanders Kennedy. I think so, because somebody was like, oh, are you talking about Peter Mon? And he was like, no, I'm talking about Sanders Kennedy. And I looked, and he's made a ton of videos in the past 2 weeks, but specifically, he has made 11 videos with Shane either in the title or in the thumbnail in the past 2 weeks. 11 videos. I mean, I understand if this is your job, like, what else are you gonna do but make YouTube videos? But at the same time, that's a lot. Like, I don't think you're putting a lot of thought into what you're putting out there. Onojiri said, thinking that nobody took Onision's word when he said that Shane was shady with kids, and now, I don't know, it just feels weird that Onision was technically right, and that sucks. Yeah. I was thinking about this a lot. I was like, I wonder if, like, it's one of those it takes one to know one situations, and Onision saw, like, who Shane was really. And because, I mean, the thing is, for a lot of people, they grew up watching Shane on YouTube, and some people, like me, found him after he'd moved on from Shane Dawson TV. And so you have this one subset of his audience that grew up watching him and, like, isn't gonna question the racist, pedophilic, like, just bad humor, mean humor that happened on that channel, because they grew up thinking that it was okay because they had access to it. And then you have another group of his audience that didn't really know about this stuff, that, like, didn't watch his old videos, that found him through conspiracy videos or his food videos and stuff like that. And so Onision's like, we're the same in this way, you know, like, we're both a little bit off, but he's thriving and I'm a pariah. Like, I think Onision's probably so mad. Kaylin said, I just hate that Sanders thinks he can say allegedly as if it's a magic word. Right, like, you can say allegedly all you want, but there are still consequences to what you say. Like, you can't just go on the internet and say whatever and think that there's not going to be anything that happens from it because you said allegedly. Like, free speech is real. Like, it is a right that we have in America, but that doesn't mean that you get to say whatever you want without consequence. It happens. Binks Stink said, I think the interesting thing about the cat story is that it was perceived as a joke out of context, but after all of the context and Shane history was just exposed, it seemed less like a joke. Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, before, when I first heard about it, I was like, it's a joke. People are being ridiculous. And now I'm, like, second guessing it. I still don't think that I would hope that he didn't, but it also kind of makes you have, like, a little bit of a different view on the kinds of jokes and the kinds of things that you'll excuse. Because you're like, I don't know about that. Christina said, wow, that's almost one every day. There must be overlap, repeated details stretched out to the max. Probably. I mean, it's just, that's so many videos. And like I said, I get, like, if you do this for a living, you have all the time in the world to do it. But quantity and quality are very different things. And I don't know. I kind of feel like I said, Sanders just puts whatever out there. Like, I don't know that he has a lot of, like, journalistic integrity or that he actually puts a lot of effort into his stuff. Like, I think he has a lot of information and he'll, like, reach out to get statements, but I don't know that he, like, takes pride in his work, if that makes sense. And I think it's kind of further evidenced by the fact that he lied and said he would have exclusive information from the LA County Sheriff's Department behind his membership on his channel. But that's just me. Oscar said, I'm at work, but I hope you're having a good stream. Oh, thank you, Oscar. I hope you have fun at work. Leah said, how come I still see his merchandise and stuff on the Morphe website? Well, probably because they're going to phase it out, if I had to guess. If it's still on there, it might be like what they did with Conspiracy Collection, where you can still see it and you can put it in your cart, but they won't let you buy it. Or they haven't, like, come to complete terms with how to get rid of the stock they have. They could say, we're going to keep the remaining stock that we already have in our warehouse. We're going to sell it out because we don't want to take the hit, but we won't get anything new. Or they could come to an agreement where they cut everything off completely. We'll just have to see. Potato McGee said, I started consistently watching Shane through his food videos, but had seen some of his older content when I was 10 or 11. By the time I started watching him, I knew his older content was wrong. Yeah. Potato McGee said, but I had forgotten about it until all this started coming out again. Yeah, and it's hard if you don't, like, watch it consistently. If maybe you saw a video or two, but it didn't really have a big impact on your life. And then years later, you're like, oh, yeah, that did happen. Sinead said, why is YouTube such a mess? So glad we have channels like yours to vent our feelings. It is kind of a mess, but I'm glad that you guys feel like you can come here and, like, share your thoughts. Since some of you are coming in late and questioning me saying that Morphe has dropped Jeffree Star, go to their Twitter account. I'll read it again. Just so you guys know, but I'm not like putting a false information in my title. This was tweeted today at 12:19 p.m. from Morphe. It's on Twitter. They said, today we've made the decision to cease all commercial activity related to Jeffree Star and affiliated products. We expect this to conclude within the coming weeks. As we look to the future, we will continue to share updates on what lies ahead for the Morphe brand. Kaylin said, I wonder if Morphe bought tons of Shane's makeup considering how well it sold the first time. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. They probably do have a lot. Like, it sold out so quickly, and like it broke the site, every site that sold it. So I'm sure they bought a ton for the relaunch. Like, I don't know. They're probably losing so much money, and I think the only way to save their company, well, not save their company, but like save their reputation from a good amount of people no longer wanting to buy their products, is to drop him. UA said, there were even a lot of videos during Shane's food video area that was questionable. I used to watch them, but I never noticed until Reddit pointed it out. That's interesting. I mean, I'm sure there were questionable things in there, but it would be interesting to see them all like compiled in a list. But in any case, back to Sanders Kennedy. He issued a statement called My Statement about it, and basically just doubled down on what he had said about there being an investigation. And he like played a clip talking to somebody called Detective Payne, I think. And there wasn't really any detail in the conversation. That guy could have literally been anybody. And he said like, yeah, we're just looking for victims. We need some victims to come forward. And it's like, you're literally doubling down on something that people can call into they can call into the sheriff's department and ask about it. Shane said no. It's not that hard to figure out that you're lying. And so he put out My Statement, and then he got a lot more backlash. And then he took down the video, claiming that he was being investigated. South of Grace, thank you for posting the link. I appreciate it. That way, if anyone else comes back in, just direct them up to there. Or if anyone comes in for the first time in the middle of the stream, they can go up there. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is, this is just like a quick sidebar on it, is not only are people really mad at Sanders about this whole thing, there's another channel called Without a Crystal Ball that I have watched in the past because I've liked a few of her videos, but she like got involved in this, and she like kind of purported the lie, and now she's saying like, oh, well, he posted this video for clout, and now a lot of people are going after her for posting things that are not true for clout, and like going after people really hard and saying like, well, I'm an investigative journalist, but like being kind of obsessive over certain things. And now she's in drama with Angelica Oles because Angelica said in a video that, I don't even remember how this came up, but she said like, I made a mistake. I put in her article in one of my videos when I first started. I didn't cite it, and then she copyright claimed my video, or she struck my video. And I contacted her and said, hey, like, I'm so sorry about it. My bad. Can you remove the strike? And then I'll just pay you for like your segment in my video, which to me sounds like a really fair thing. You know, she said like, this is how I would calculate it out. You know, she was in there for like 30 seconds. I'll divide it by views and CPM, all that stuff. And then I'll give her a payment for what she had in there. And then I'll remove the article. And Without a Crystal Ball is saying that like Angelica tried to bribe her. And like now all of this like drama is kind of happening with that. It's super interesting. Sinead said, what's going on with Without a Crystal Ball and Angelica now? Yeah, it's so interesting because she's saying that Angelica is like lying about her, and Angelica's saying no, like, you struck my video, which was your right to do, and I said that it was my bad, and I offered to pay you. Like, I'm not trying to bribe you, I'm just trying to make it right, which is super interesting. Oh, you guys talking about Jeffree owning stock in Morphe? I have literally no idea. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Courtney. Courtney said Angelica mentioned without a or what Sanders did, and mentioned that without a crystal ball. Oh my gosh. Angelica mentioned what Sanders did, and mentioned what without a crystal ball did, and also in a way threw him under the bus when she got backlash, and explained her encounter with her. Yeah, so without a crystal ball kind of like jumped on it and like I said, reported what he had said, and was like, I think she gave out this Sergeant Payne's or Detective Payne's phone number, and then within a small amount of time came back and was like, oh, actually he did this for clout, this isn't true. Bink Stink said, I don't know how I feel about her. I have a degree in journalism and I appreciate investigative journalism, but she's about 50-50 on accurate and unbiased reporting. How do you feel about her content? So I don't think I have the best like perception of who she is or her content. I just started watching her when the Micah Stauffer and rehoming story kind of was going on, and so she says that she's like not a drama channel. She doesn't like YouTube drama. She focuses on, I feel like she's like a TLC like reporting channel. She talks about like the Duggars and different family vloggers and stuff like that, and I think some of her content is good, some of her information is good, but I also kind of feel like she takes it too far. Like, she got multiple cease and desists from Tati's lawyers, which is what I was talking about earlier, and like, I don't know, she was like mad that Tati sent them to her, and it's like, okay, well, if you get a cease and desist, obviously you're doing something that they don't like, and so you can say like, well, I don't agree, but I guess like if a lawyer is taking the time to send this, I'll stop, which a cease and desist isn't really, depending on who sends it, it's not going to really do much. It's just kind of like a, hey, please stop, and if you don't, we're going to take legal action. But she seems very like bitter about it and like took it personally, is how I saw it. Like, she took the cease and desist letters very personally, as opposed to just being like, oh, I'm saying something that they don't like, and so that's why they sent it. Like, she said that Tati sent her a death threat because Tati tweeted something with like the crystal ball emoji and then like a water gun next to it. And so she's like, I'd love to know why a gun is pointed at my head. Why are you pointing a gun at me, Tati? And like, she just took it very personally when it really wasn't about her. So I don't know. I've liked some of her content before, but I also kind of feel like maybe she's not the most credible person, and maybe she's not interested in giving like, I mean, I don't want to say unbiased, because everybody has a bias, but I feel like she has more of an agenda with her videos, if that makes sense. But that was the interesting thing about Sanders. I don't know. I'm interested to see if he comes back and like apologizes, or if he says like, I don't know, if he has some sort of excuse for it. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is kind of unrelated to YouTube drama, but it's also very like upsetting, and a lot of people are talking about it, so I wanted to just mention it briefly. Naya Rivera is an actress, and she's been missing since Wednesday. So initially, what had happened was on Wednesday, she and her son rented this pontoon boat. They went out on a lake, and then at some point, like, it was like 4 hours after the boat was supposed to be returned, it still wasn't. And so they went out on the lake, like the owner of the rental place went out, and then either he or somebody else who was just boating around looking for her found her son asleep on the pontoon boat. with his life vest on, and then there was another life vest next to him, and they asked him what happened, and he said that they both went swimming, but she never got back on the boat. And so she has been missing since Wednesday. They're trying to do searches of the lake, but they said that there's a lot of like vegetation underneath the water, and so to be kind of upsetting, this is going to be an upsetting thing, if she had drowned, it's very possible that she could have gotten like caught in some foliage, caught in a branch, and like held underwater. And they said like if she drowned in that lake, it's possible that she, like, her body might never come back up. And so they originally thought that it was going to be like a rescue mission, but now they are searching for her body, which is, it's just horrifying to think about. So I really hope that she is okay. So many people are like tweeting about it, saying like this has to be this has to be a prank, this has to be a joke, this can't be real. So I don't know. I was going to say it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I don't think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think it'll probably be pretty devastating, but I am hoping for the best when it comes to that. Okay, so here's some other comments about Without a Crystal Ball. Someone said, oh, Maddie's World said, I don't like Without a Crystal Ball, and her subscribers are really rude and hang up on people. Oh. Luckily, I haven't had any, like, rude interaction, but I think a lot of people, like, can be very defensive when it comes to their favorite creator, so that doesn't surprise me. Tatum McGee said, I'm interested to see if Shane takes any sort of action against Sanders. I would be interested to see that, too. I mean, I don't know. There's not too many court cases when it comes to, like, creator-on-creator issues. Like, the landmark case is, like, H3H3 and fair use content. But it'll be... I mean, I think it could legitimately happen. He could probably sue for defamation because he would have knowingly given false information unless he said, like, oh, I just misunderstood. But he literally doubled down on it in the second video, so... I don't think you could say, like, well, I just misunderstood it, so my bad, I'm sorry. Like, it was on purpose. Becca said that poor baby, he must have been so scared. I know, like, that's the thing that really kind of gets me, is, like, that kid was alone, and, like, he just started sleeping on the pontoon boat. Like, what is he gonna do? Did they have water? Did he have food? Like... that's gotta be so scary. Courtney said there are supposedly underwater cliffs that are not marked or warned about. Ooh. Christina said that poor kid is going to need therapy no matter the outcome. My heart breaks for him. Yeah, it's just... that poor kid. I can't even imagine, like, how terrifying that would be. And especially thinking about, like, where you go from here, not knowing what happened to your mom. And, like, the kid's young enough to have a sense of what, like, old enough to have a sense of what happened, but young enough to really not be able to process it, I feel like, and give, like, the exact story and explain everything in detail. But I just hope that he has people, like, Naya's family, his dad and his dad's family, that can really help him get through it. Z said, Sanders and Without a Crystal Ball have doubled down so hard. I don't know if they can come out of this. Yeah, I really don't know. Like I said, I feel like Sanders already wasn't very credible, and I've seen a lot of people saying that they don't think Without a Crystal Ball is credible either. So I think for maybe newer viewers, it's going to damage their reputation, but I also... kind of feel like they didn't really have that great of a reputation to begin with, and so it's like I don't know if there's much to come back from, if that makes sense, in my opinion, in the way that I perceived both of their channels. Melissa Cross said, okay, I'm totally missing. Does this kid have to do with Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson? No, it's just a new topic. We're not talking about anything like one specific topic. We just did a few topics throughout the video, so this is a separate thing. Z said, in my town, a little girl was swept away by the Missouri River while boating with her family, and they can only search from 8 to 8 because of safety. Oh, that's the hardest thing, is because you can't like search a river at night. There's so many safety precautions and things that you have to consider, and like so much can happen when you're taking that break. Michaela said, oh my god, I hadn't heard about Naya. That's heartbreaking. Yeah, so many people have been like tweeting like, let's manifest this energy. She's gonna come home. She's gonna be okay. This is just a misunderstanding. She's all right. She'll make it back. And I really hope that that's true. But it is just, oof, it's very sad. Courtney said, lucky for her son, it was a rental boat. They were looking for the boat because it didn't come back in time. Otherwise, it could have been a lot worse. I'm praying. Yeah, if it had been a boat that they owned, who knows how long it could have been. Like, because I was thinking, they had a pontoon boat, so he probably had some shade. But I'm like, did he get sunburned? Like, how long was he there by himself? Did he have water? Did he have food? If you like actually think about it, it's sad if you hear about it, but then when you actually think about like the details going into it, it just is really sad. So hopefully we get answers soon. I would love to think that she comes home and gets here safely, and I don't know, has some sort of miraculous survivor story, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they at least find her soon. Melissa said, oh right, she's the Glee person. What is it with Glee? I don't know. Somebody else said like it's the Glee curse. So there's something going on with that group where they have had some real tragedy. So I hope that this turns out okay. I'm gonna hope for the best, but we'll have to see what happens. And that's pretty much all I have to say about these 3 topics. If you have any other thoughts that you want to share them real quick, go ahead and send them in right now. I know we're on a delay a little bit from when I say something to when you hear it and can type in a comment. So I'll give you guys another few minutes to get them in, but that's pretty much all I had to say about them. Z said, I read that his father and Naya's ex was able to take him home same day, so hopefully that means he wasn't alone and exposed too long. Okay, yeah, that's good. If he got to go home the same day and they didn't have to like hold him overnight, that's a good sign. Like, I feel like that's the best that you can hope for. Julie said, please scroll up and see my question. You said Jeffree Star's part owner and investor, so wouldn't they have to buy him out? There's been an official statement that he is not part owner or investor. I don't know what's true. He has said that he is, but he has also said that he isn't. And if he hasn't disclosed that publicly while being part owner, that is a major FTC violation. So he could be in a lot of trouble if that is the case. I think they'll probably have like, they'll have to have some sort of negotiation in order to probably get out of a supplier contract if they said like, well, we agree to sell your products for this long, or we agree to buy this many products and sell them out over the next few years. So there's gonna be some legal action involved in officially stopping carrying his products, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know whether or not he's part owner, because there have been sources that have said either way. Onajiri said, do you have a live stream schedule? Okay, so typically I try to do live streams every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know it's a Friday at 1 o'clock when I started, but I had some personal stuff I had to do yesterday, so that's why it's on a Friday. I do typically do Thursdays, though, at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's typically when I do it. If you want to, I think you follow me on Twitter, maybe, I don't know. On Twitter, I usually try to announce it like an hour or 30 minutes before, just so that way if you don't get notified, you can see it. before I start. Potato Mia said, I hope they're able to get Naya's son into therapy early. It'll really help if they do it now and continue it instead of just waiting until he's old enough to fully process it. Yeah. Even if Naya's okay, this is a traumatic event for anyone to go through, but especially when they're the person's child. Absolutely. And I think that they hopefully will. I mean, it makes sense that they would. You know, they have the money. They're pretty wealthy. And so it's like you can get him into therapy, help him get through this now as soon as possible, no matter what the outcome is. So hopefully. Morty said they finally realized Jeffree was their biggest liability. I think they probably finally got enough hate from other people saying, we think he's racist, please stop carrying his products. Like, that is, like, he's literally a liability because some people won't buy from Morphe because he has that partnership. So I really don't think it's any sort of, like, moral standpoint on their end. I think it's purely a business decision. But at the end of the day, lots of people asked for this break to happen, and it's finally happening. So that's good. But, all right. Looks like that's the last of the comments to come in. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and for talking about all this. It was really fun. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I am at Inside the Honeycomb, and there will be a link in the description box once this finishes processing. So feel free to follow me there and say hi. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.